Every 3 years, millions of people descend upon the River Ganges for the biggest religious gathering on earth. It's an experience like no other.
Just say Sita Ram, we'll be all right. And you do that.
And this year, I'm going to be a part of it. Early spring, northern India. Millions of Hindus are gathering for the world's biggest religious festival, the Kumbh Mela. Over the coming weeks, nearly 100 million people will make the pilgrimage to bathe in the river Ganges and wash away their sins. It's a long way from my hometown of Sheffield, where I've just finished 2 months performing in My Fair Lady.
Socks. Shirts.
But now it's goodbye to my wife and kids.
Please come back in one piece. Please bring him back in one piece.
And off to Delhi to meet up with one of my oldest friends. Jim and I met at school nearly 30 years ago. He's one of my best mates. But there is a whole side of his life that I've never seen.
Hey, Jimmy.
So I'm spending the next 3 weeks with him in India.
Hey, Jimmy. How you doing?
First stop, the fabric shop. Jim always brings gifts for his hosts, and I need to get properly outfitted.
I bought a metre and a half of loincloth material there.
Am I going to be wearing that?
I don't know. See if Brett, you're in generally.
Silk or cotton? Cotton.
Jim's been studying India's holy men, the sadhus, for more than 20 years. He's become a world authority on the practice and history of yoga, and maybe the only Oxford professor who can do this. Over years of living with holy men in India, Jim has become something of a sadhu himself. In fact, his sect of holy men has invited him to become a senior member called a Mahant. But it won't be the only title he's got.
I've inherited a title in the British system of inherited titles. I'm a baronet, the Baronet of Walthamstow, which is now part of East London, which entitles me to call myself Sir James. I inherited the title when my father died, so when I was 25. I think the whole thing's pretty absurd, particularly hereditary titles. And I'm rather more proud of being the fact that I'm a doctor from having got a PhD.
Jim's fascination with Indian holy men started when he left school and spent a gap year trip to India.
Age 17, I went off to India for 7 months with a money belt full of traveller's checks and not much plan. And I found myself in a holy man's cave, and I didn't look back. It was fantastic.
Jim's Mahant ceremony will be taking place at the Kumbh Mela festival. And this year, it is predicted to be the largest gathering of people the world has ever seen. As well as bathing in the river Ganges, pilgrims gather for a chance to receive the blessings of India's holy men. It's going to take us 2 days to drive to the festival, which gives me 48 hours to get to grips with what lies ahead.
Do you want another roti? How's it going eating with a hand?
I've no idea. I'm just copying you.
Well, the trick is not, if you can, not to use your left hand at all. And like I say, you break it off like that as you go along.
here we are in our middle age. I can't do this with one hand.
What are you thinking about bathing in the river when we get there?
Well, you sent me a pollution report, and you've got to be out of your mind.
Several million people have got to be out of their minds.
You're not worried about this. I mean, it's absolutely filthy. So it's raw sewage of hundreds of millions of people that we're going to be bathing in.
Someone bathed at the Mela just recently and gone into a coma and was now in a hospital in Delhi in a coma with pneumonia and various other complications. They were putting it down to the fact that he'd bathed at the Kumbh Mela.
I'm in real trouble. I've done quite a bit of traveling and pilgrimage. I walked to Santiago de Compostela. So I'm all right traveling, but the older you get, the less good you get at it. And I'm much less good now, and I like my creature comforts. And Nescafe is not one of them.
Right, let's go to the Kumbh Mela.
Which is the fast lane?
Whichever one you go fast in.
The festival is taking place 430 miles away in Allahabad. According to myth, Hindu gods spilled 4 drops of holy nectar in northern India. The Kumbh Melas take place in one of these spots every 3 years.
Here we go. Don't forget horn. That was a good time for a horn.
Once we reach the festival, we're going to be camping with Jim's sect of sadhus, or holy men. And I'm going to meet the man who has been Jim's guru for over 20 years. Jim met Babaji in 1992, and it's through him that he's had unique access into the world of India's sadhus. After 2 relentless days and nights on the road, we've finally arrived. But now we've got to find Babaji's camp.
I really can't see anything.
And at 2 a.m., with dense fog rolling off the river and a vast temporary city of tents stretching for miles, navigation is easier said than done.
ओम लिखेगा ओम
जी महाराज
और ऊपर ये क्रॉस मिलेगा ए ये क्रॉस वाई
Should I walk in front?
Why not?
We've come to the largest gathering of humanity on Earth, but we can't see a soul. Finally, Jim's guru Babaji appears out of the mist. As Jim and Babaji disappear into the gloom, it seems we really are entering another world. Morning, and my first chance to meet our hosts and really see where Jim's brought me.
Thank you. Always blessing.
Thank you. I'm handing out the gifts we bought in Delhi. For the next 15 days, we're going to be living and sleeping here in Babaji's camp.
So Sampradaya, big Mai Sampradaya, big cultured Sampradaya, very sacred Sampradaya, Pavitra Sampradaya. No wine, no egg, no allowed, no garlic, no onion allowed. Bachelor, all sadhu bachelor, no wife, no child.
Babaji and Jim are part of a sect called the 13 Renouncer Brothers. They have about 10,000 members at the Kumbh Mela. Everything is communal here, including the food and the showers. Every day in the camp begins with morning worship and the ritual face painting of a tilak, which shows which sect each holy man belongs to.
but there's specific marking for our subsect.
And that's the vertical.
Yeah, that's the crucial bit and where it starts.
Om Mangalam Bhagavan Kausalendraya Manik Labhe Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garunathvaja Mangalam Pundarikakaya. Sarva Mangala Mangalya Shive Sarva.
Now you've got your wall paint on.
Cool.
Everyone will know which gang you're from when we go walking around.
Yeah.
What were the gangs called in The Wire again? I can't remember. They have special names?
They didn't really have names, no.
No?
Barksdale's gang.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have colours then?
Not really, no. Thank you, but Sitaram. Sitaram. I'm just acclimatizing.
The ceremony to make Jim a Mahant a senior holy man is taking place next week, so I've got time to explore his world.
Just say Sitaram, we'll be all right.
I'm an actor.
What?
Actor.
Action.
Actor.
Actor हैं act.
And I'm starting to appreciate the charismatic charm of Babaji and why Jim chose him to be his guru and teacher.
दस्तखत करना एक फार्म पे हाँ फोटो खींचा हुआ फालतू का चाइना के तरफ इधर बद्रीनाथ के तरफ
Would you follow him into battle?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too. I've only known him 3 days.
It's hard to imagine, but there are hundreds of thousands of holy men like these in India. They've been around in one form or another for thousands of years. Jim's taken me to visit one of the branches of his sect called the Nagas. Traditionally, these sadhus were warriors whose role was to protect the holy men in Babaji's group.
पूरे अखाड़े थे
So these are all the camps of the warriors.
Of our boys.
Become gangsters,
निर्वाणी
yeah.
है निर्वाणी का बलभद्री है
Apparently, things haven't always been as calm as they are today. In the past, different sects have had battles to decide who gets to camp nearest the river at the Mela and who gets to enter the water on the most important bathing days. The Nagas control who stays where, and Babaji is making a payment to secure his camping spot.
So why does Babaji and everybody pay them?
Well,
They're the
because
brotherhood.
they are the representatives that get given the land. I mean, they're like the government. They're like the Sadhu police and government all rolled into one.
Mafia.
Yeah, and it gets pretty mafioso, I think.
And is this the boss? The boss of the Nagas? No.
Well, there's all these different regiments. So this is one regiment. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Siya Ram, Dandavad.
Sitaram.
का जो है परंपरा चलती रही उपासना में भी ऐसे ही चलता संतों की सुरक्षा के लिए नागा दल बनाया गया और उस नागा दल का रामा दल नाम है इच्छा हुई फिर उससे अमृत निकला जो मेन वस्तु था अमृत
Interesting thing about the myth that he's telling of the creation of the Kumbh Mela is there's actually no written record of that. The myth about the churning of the ocean is very ancient, but the bit about the 4 places isn't found in any text older than about 100 years. That's because the system of the kumbhs, the 4 kumbhs, is actually relatively recent, and that was created by the pundits, the priests of this area, in order to legitimise the kumbh, because the British wanted to stamp it out.
The British controlled India between 1858 and 1947, and they were wary of millions of people gathering in one place.
For 2 main reasons. A, spread of disease, it would often be cholera epidemics. And B, because it was a platform for kind of insurrection, for nationalist propaganda to be spread. But by giving it this pucker, mythological legitimacy, they managed to safeguard it because the British had a policy not to stamp out on any religious activity. So they made it up. Effectively, yeah.
Before we leave, The Nagas give us a ceremonial display of traditional sword fighting skills, using potatoes.
Are we insured against this? Is the equipment insured? That was pretty impressive.
Chips for supper. Fantastic.
In a few days' time, Jim is going to be the first foreigner within his sect ever to be given the title of Mahant.
इस सेवा के लिए मेहनत बनाते, बाकी मेहनत का मतलब कोई स्वर्ग नहीं जाते। This is my society one drink है मेहनत। बहुत देर आया गया, सेवा किया, बहुत टाइम हो गया, सब रिलीज में हमारा अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस बॉय। So now make man.
I'm coming the same level as him.
So you're the same level as him?
It doesn't denote your kind of spiritual advancement or anything like that. It's a hierarchical thing.
But is this something that you, I mean, whether consciously or not, you sort of always aspired to do? When you met Babaji, you wanted to be assimilated into his...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was my intention, my aim. When I went to the Kumbh Mela and I met Babaji, I'd realised at that point that if I wanted to know more, to get deeper into this whole world, I'd have to join a particular tradition, find a guru, get involved. And I was incredibly lucky to find him, really, with hindsight. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd have... It's unlikely that I'd have stuck at it.
A big focus of Jim's academic work is the history and origins of yoga. It's all a bit murky, but there are records of holy men doing yoga from as early as 500 BC. We've come to see a sect of sadhus called the Nats, who claim to have invented yoga.
So these are the Nats?
They're the kind of the tantric Buddhists. Their main guru there is Guru Gorakhnath, who is supposed to be the guy who started yoga, physical yoga. Although I would argue that's not necessarily the case. And to some extent they use their tantric magic to appropriate yoga for themselves, because now everyone thinks that they are the originators of yoga.
The tantrics?
Yeah, these guys. But in fact, from looking at the old texts, it actually seems much more likely that there's an older lineage that our Babaji, he's part of, and that's the original yoga. I would say that. I might be a little bit biased, that's true.
Throughout the Mela, the Nats are giving yoga displays in their camp, and we've been invited to one.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
That?
Yeah.
I bet you can't.
Not sure about that.
Not sure about that either.
2,000 years ago, Alexander the Great's men reported yogis holding difficult postures in the hot sun. But Jim's work has shown that many of today's familiar yoga poses, like the sun salutation, have only been around for about 100 years. In fact, traditional yoga has changed and adapted over time and been influenced by Swedish bodybuilding, gymnastics, and British military drills. And the Nats have only started practicing some of the yoga poses we know in the West relatively recently.
I think it's kind of like a revival amongst them, and they've seen the popularity of yoga around the world. They've seen it, and it's becoming very popular in India as well. And so they're now trying to cash back in on that.
So the boom in the West has fueled the revival in India?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And they call it the pizza effect. From pizzas going from Sicily to New York and then becoming something absolutely different and then coming back to Italy.
Right.
And that's going on here big time.
The Mela is alive 24/7.
There are 100 here.
Jim's Mahant ceremony is in just a few days, and we've got over $2,000 in Indian rupees with us to hand out to hundreds of other holy men as part of the process.
My becoming Mahant involves a distribution of resources. That's the way you get recognized by your sadhu peers or by the other sadhus as a decent sadhu, is if you do what they call seva, if you do stuff for the sadhu community, which involves often, simply giving out money and food to everyone, so they can then look after themselves. So that's what's going on here. A lot of it is sort of redistribution of resources. So these big bubbas will be sitting at their ashrams for the 3 years between each mela, and they get given loads and loads of money. What do they do with it? They might build a bit more on their ashram, but basically they come here and they throw big feasts and spread all their cash.
They blow all their dough. But that, what you just said, the anti-society, that's what you like.
Well, that's what fascinates me. No, absolutely. These guys are meant to have, they've given up on normal society, yet they create this other society that somehow they've got to try and live in that as though they have no attachment to the normal aims of normal people and they're just going for liberation. What it will mean is that afterwards, if I go to a feast, then as a Mahant, I'll get given more money than the others, and the rank and file.
Work. The more you renounce the world and its evils, the more you get. So you've renounced sort of status and everything, and you've now got more titles than the Queen. Your commander,
Mahant Dr. Sir James, I will be after that. But of course, that's the other irony about the whole thing, is I'm no renouncer at all. But Babaji knows that. Half the people in the camp know that.
So you've done it all without renouncing. You do, in a way. I mean, you come and live here, and it's pretty uncomfortable.
Part-time renouncer.
Jim has devoted 20 years to Indian holy men, but back in England, he has an entirely different life.
I live in the beautiful English countryside with my wife and 2 daughters. I have a blissful family life. Claudia, my wife, she supports me, and she spent years on living that same lifestyle in India with me. She spent years with Babaji. She loves Babaji in the same way that I do.
It was a magical time. We just spent our time really travelling from religious festival to religious festival, doing pilgrimages. Yeah, it's totally part of my life, and I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Jim and Claudia met when we were all at school, but even with their shared love of India, Claudia had reservations about Jim being made a Mahant.
I was fairly ambivalent towards it to begin with. I was like, you can't become a Mahant, this is ridiculous. You have to be a Hindu ascetic, and you're not a Hindu and you're not an ascetic, so what do you think you're doing? And now I feel that it's a bit like it could be like an honorary degree or something, and they're just honouring the fact that he's really championed their cause, really, I suppose.
We've been at the Mela nearly a week. Jim and Babaji take me to a spot called the Sangam, where the river Ganges meets the river Yamuna. Pilgrims bathe in the river throughout the festival, but next week, millions will take to the water on the special day that Hindus believe bathing in the Ganges will bring nirvana.
This is the holiest place in the world.
World in world, Prayagraj, sab tirthon ka raja, all holy.
The king of all holy places.
परसों का ठिकाना नहीं, उधर नाग भागेंगे सब कचड़ा में.
Yeah, so you won't get as nice a chance to bathe as this again. Are you going to get in there?
No, I don't think I am, actually.
Just save yourself.
I think I'll save myself.
Everywhere you look at the Kumbh Mela, there are gurus advertising enlightenment.
Your role is to become the consciousness of God.
But Babaji and his sect choose not to preach at all.
बस यही उद्देश्य है, आश्रम बनाओ, गरीब की पुअर को सेवा करो, साधु कमिंग आश्रम में सेवा करो, सम योगा अंडरस्टैंडिंग टीचिंग करो.
Sadhus undertake ritual austerities known as tapasyas as a way to connect with God. While we've been here, I've seen a sadhu who's been holding his arm in the air for 40 years, and a holy man who never sits or lies down.
How long will he stand like that
आप
for?
कितने साल तक खड़े रहेंगे? अच्छा, तब तक. Until Lord Shiva manifests in front of him.
Today, Babaji's sect are preparing to start a special tapasya called the Duni Tap.
Today is Vasant Panchami, which means the first day of spring. The sadhus start their annual Duni Tap, which is like a fire penance. They sit surrounded by smouldering cow dung fires under the summer sun for 2 or 3 hours in midday every day. And it's an 18-year course of 6 3-year stages. There's a guy over there who has 5 piles. And then they increase the number of fires until by the end they have an unbroken ring of fire. And then finally they put a broken pot in which has got burning cow dung in, put it on their heads and sit with that meditating.
दोनों का ताप मिलकर के एक प्रकार का विशेष एनर्जी तैयार होता है.
Cows are holy animals in Hinduism. For the next 4 months, the holy men will meditate in this way for 4 hours each day.
Incredibly intense, isn't it?
I know, the heat's the least of it, isn't it?
Imagine what it's going to be like in 4 months. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter every day.
And breathing that smoke. I can't even look at it. It's absolutely bonkers. What does it give you? What does it get you? Just
one guy just came up to me and told me I had to do it. I must do it because it gives you anand. You get bliss.
Anand, bliss.
Part of their whole idea of this tapas, this idea of penance, the same word for penance also means heat. So it's like generating a kind of inner heat. And that can force the vision of God or other powers, other things that you may desire. And it's tied in with the whole notion of yoga and how they practice yoga as well, generating this force within.
But they do it for 18 years.
18 years, 4 months
a year.
Some
have reported not ever seeing bliss.
Well, Babaji gave up after 7 years. Said it wasn't for him and he'd stick to yoga.
A good deal of Babaji's time is spent sitting around his holy fire called a duni, which is not quite as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, sitting down, you have to sit cross-legged, straight back.
Yeah, you should always have your feet tucked in, never pointing at anyone, and you shouldn't support yourself like that. That's bad form. You should be holding yourself up with your back.
So how long did it take you to be able to do that? Because I'm in agony.
Still hurts a bit at the end of a long day of sitting around. Really hard days sitting can get quite painful.
No, it is.
It is, yeah.
Like most sadhus we've met, Babaji spends much of his day smoking a small clay pipe called a chillum, which contains a mixture of tobacco and marijuana.
महाराज ये पूछना चाहता है कि आपको क्या फ़ायदा मिलता है दम लगाने से?
फ़ायदा क्या मिलता है? बाबा बने हुए हैं, इसमें क्या फ़ायदा है? कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं होती है, न बीवी का, न बच्चे का, न गुरु का, न पैसा का, न माचिदा संसार का। कुछ फीलिंग नहीं होती है ना, कॉन्शियसनेस हम लोग है ना
जी,
क्या हो जाते हैं?
वैराग्य
फूल हाफ नहीं, कोई लोभ लालच सब त्याग के फूल वैराग्य में हो जाते हैं और हैप्पीनेस हो जाते हैं। कोई तरह का बाहर का कोई झंझट नहीं। साधु लाइफ इन वन दिस टाइप सिस्टम है, चिलम पीना, ओम नमः शिवाय, ऐसा जड़ी बूटी है ना बगैर ये हमारा ड्रग नहीं है, नो ड्रग्स।
Shiva himself doesn't smoke, but dope is his present to the world. And there was a myth that he drunk this poison that was going to destroy the whole world. He finished drinking it, turned his conch shell upside down on Mount Kailash. There were a few drops left in the conch shell, and they dripped down, went into the Himalayas and the forests, and from that was produced cannabis.
Wow, 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 that's brilliant. This is the day, this is the day, this is the day we've been waiting for. This is your Mahint day. Are you nervous?
A little bit. I'm not quite sure what to expect, what's going on. There's been only one person's raised an objection so far.
So how does this rank compared to graduating from Oxford or getting a PhD or, I don't know, whatever?
Much more important.
But I mean,
gives you some power.
It seems that Babaji has spoken to the person who is objecting. He's worried that Jim might try and pitch his own camp at the Mela next time and bring 200 foreigners with him. Babaji has assured him this isn't going to happen. For Jim, this is the culmination of more than 20 years' work with the 13 Renouncer brothers. Having known him since I was 12, I feel incredibly lucky to be able to witness this special, once-in-a-lifetime moment.
देखिए, अपने तेरे भाई त्यागी परिवार के भाव भक्ति में समर्पित होकर विदेशी श्री ये अमेरिका से संबंधित हैं, लेकिन ये पाश्चात्य संस्कृति अपने सनातन धर्म के राम जी के चरणों में दासत्वता स्वीकार करते हुए ये जगदीश दास जी पहले से शिष्य हैं, लेकिन आज जो है एक विशेष समारोह के तहत संतों की सेवा में, गुरुजनों की सेवा में इनको यहाँ महंताई समारोह हो रहा है, इसलिए आज मान करेंगे। इस करके भारतीय संस्कृति में इसकी अहम भूमिका है कि विदेशी कल्चर से पले हुए श्री जगदीश दास जी यहाँ हिंदी नाम है इनका, पहले का नाम क्या है? जेम्स नालेंसन। हाँ, ये इनका पहले का नाम है और यहाँ इनका नाम रखा है जगदीश दास। वैष्णवी परंपरा के अनुसार, दास परंपरा के अनुसार। बोलो भक्तवत्सल भगवान की।
What a proud moment. I was cut up. I was in tears watching it. Amazing. Now, what the hell am I calling now? I can't call him Jim. Mahentaji. Good old Jim. when he said James Valley inside, it was so moving. I mean, Rupert and I were both in tears. It's amazing.
With the ceremony over, the real business of being a Mahant begins. Like all the Mahants that have gone before him, Jim has to give out money to hundreds of other sadhus, and I'm in charge of the cash.
There's a very new bundle in there, and get the 20s out as well. Ji Maharaj.
I'm starting to understand how the world of these holy men works. It is a system of serving one another.
It was very important that you served your guru.
Yeah. Very important.
पहले सेवा की.
Yeah, 7 years. Regular. But Guruji, my connection, all life. Guruji का जब तक था, मैं जाना उधर पूजाना. गुरुजी के लिए ऐसे जैसे कपड़े आप लाते ऐसे मैं साल बहुत बढ़िया साल धारीवाल का लाता था पैसे भी उनको देता था उड़ाता था वो गले लगा लेते थे गुरुजी
As Chela, what did you do for your guru? Is it cleaning or cooking or?
Yeah, all self cooking, self cleaning, self all धुना पे सारा cow dung clean fresh cow dung every day आश्रम में making सब राम जी का food making पूजा making flower taking Tulsi taking, सब कुछ all work my Guruji teaching.
Das is not slave.
No. God से ले directly से ले Das divination. Very nice heart, very nice heart.
Right.
Lovely butter type heart. Understand? Same butter heart. This
hot
Das.
like butter.
Everybody with love. Understand? Every cost with love. So Das.
आपको धन्यवाद बोलना चाहता हूँ आप मेरी मेंटाई को करा दिए बहुत आनंद आया बहुत
हम लोगों को भी सब बहुत हैप्पी रहे क्या
जी मैं डर गया मैंने सोचा कि मैं असली बाबा नहीं हूँ ये सब मना कर देंगे क्या पता नहीं क्या करेंगे तो कोई बात नहीं मेरे को स्वीकार किया
ऐसा कुछ नहीं ये तो सब भगवान के लिए सब नहीं लगता है उसमें कोई तरह का गृहस्थपना कुछ नहीं नड़ता ही नहीं है समझ रहे कि नहीं भगवान को तो लव चाहिए भगवान को भाव चाहिए
For the past 2 weeks, we've experienced the love and devotion in Babaji's camp. Everyone has welcomed and looked after us incredibly well. But even with Babaji as my teacher, my yoga moves need work. In the last few days, millions more people have been arriving.
Come all the way from Kashmir. बहुत दूर से हैं ये. So 500 or 600 kilometers away. So up to 100. So long. 100 of them have come from the furthest west part of India.
Every spare bit of floor is taken up. And even the spaces between the tents are packed in advance of the most important bathing day. It's 4 a.m. We're on our way to watch the first group of holy men start the procession down to the river.
Of the whole Mela, isn't it?
This is the biggest gathering of people that's ever happened on Earth.
Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. of people, all seeking absolution.
Bathe away their sins. Here they come.
Here they come.
Here they come. You can see them, look.
Four hours later, flanked by our Naga army, it's our turn to join the procession down to the Ganges. It's estimated that 30 million people are going to bathe today. It is blisteringly hot, and our progress is slow.
Need a swim after this, eh? I'm looking forward to it.
Finally, the river is in sight.
Involuntarily exclaiming Sitaram very loudly. At its most simple level, running into the Sangam this morning, you suddenly become part of 30 million people or however many people are here. Being in communion with everyone is quite a big deal. And their absolute devotion to that one moment of being in the water. And that felt extraordinary.
And that's what the whole thing runs on, isn't it? It's not a commercial enterprise in any way. It's all about devotion and service.
Like this guy here who massages Babaji every day with absolute incredible devotion and respect and love. And I suppose that's what devotion is, and that's what hits me here. I mean, I grew up quite a strong Catholic, and there was devotion there, but there's been I'm devoted to my children, my wife, but you forget the practice of it.
Still pretty busy.
After 15 days at the Mela, it's nearly time to go home.
By the end of these 2 weeks, I definitely feel more committed to it, or more devotion to it, especially having become a Mahant.
Very nice Bajrang Das. I happy blessing Bajrang Das. I making his also disciple चेला बनाओ. इंग्लिश हीरो को चेला बनाओ. मामूली बात नहीं ना.